Okay, so we're going to start with our hand rig setup, and first quickly I'm just going to check my this orientation axis, select hierarchy, and inside rigging I'm just going to click on local rotation axis and just check. I'm going to just check it out. This is not proper, and everything is I think this one, no, this is also not proper, x-axis. Okay, so I have to work on this particular joints. So just press F8, just click on miscellaneous components, select that and just rotate. ये भी check कर लेते हैं, just I'm going to check this also, just quickly just recorrect that. So before using your IK, FK and all thing, all the process, orientation is compulsory. Just make sure at least 80 to 90% you are done with that, and we don't have to worry about our last joint. So what you have to do is simply just select that particular last joint, and just all the joint orientation, just take it to the default value 0. So it's going to follow its previous joint hierarchy. So I think this is done, this is also done, and now we have to check this. Suppose if we try to rotate this particular joint, so this is going to rotate from here, so this is not good, we don't rotate our hand from here and here, we have to rotate it from center. So that's why orientation is very important, and I'm just going to press F8 once again and activate my miscellaneous component and select this, and just try to follow the same hierarchy what they are having over here. So we want y-axis on the top, x-axis to be in the center, and just check it. Okay, done. And now once again just check it, press F8, and now just rotate and check, it's working fine. Yes, it's going proper, done. So this is important, and if you want to name it quickly, so joint labeling, and activate this also, just click on show all labels, and this is our left area, label left, and this is shoulder, elbow, this is our wrist, and if you want just quickly rename your fingers. So this is our thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky. So we don't have any wrist joint over here, this is fine. Okay, so now we can convert the selected joints, rename joints from labels. Done. Okay, if you just press shift, so you can see, Now one thing you have to do now, um, before going ahead, you have to have three sets of joint with you. That is our IK, FK, and our bind joint. So in each and every joint, no, even if you are using your leg also, so we have to have our IK, FK, and bind. Same three sets on three different places. Same here also in the root joint also. We have to have, if you want FK, then we have to have like our three sets of joint here also. But for leg and hand, this is 100% important and needed. Okay, and for that purpose, I'm going to use this particular thing. So let's see how it works basically. So press shift and just click over here, and here just say underscore bind. Just select this, copy, just double click and just quickly just do it manually. This is our bind joint. So at least this you have to do it manually. So this particular joints we're going to bind to our body, not the IK and FK. So this is important step. So whatever bone you're going to bind, connect to your body, just rename that to bind. Or many people do it as, just write it as a skin also, or you can just say bind. That is also fine. I normally use bind only. So just quickly rename this particular thing, double click, then click outside and just paste it. Okay, done. So we are done with our bind. So we have a single joint now. Now what we have to do, we have to basically duplicate this. So for duplicating, what the shortcut we have to use, Control D, Control D, 2 times. Here also just instead of bind one, okay, whatever. So now what we have to do, just press once again shift and just check it. We have to rename this also. So instead of doing this, what I'm going to do now, if we just select all this, and if we just search for select and replace, just search for select and replace, search and replace names. Inside modify, just you'll find this option over here, search and replace names, and we have to search for bind. So just select one, and we can say hierarchy, and just search, just click bind, 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 and just click on hierarchy. Otherwise if you selected all of them, then you can take selected, otherwise you can just say hierarchy. And instead of this we want IK, and just apply and just check it. Done. So I'm just going to remove this one, and now you can check, if you want to write each and every name, you're welcome, but if you like this method, you can use this also. Same, I'm going to use this also. If I just press shift, and you can just say no, and instead of bind we want FK, and just click on apply and just done. So today we'll be going to work on the FK joint. Okay, and now we are ready with our three joints, that is our shoulder IK, shoulder FK, and our bind joint, these three. So we have shoulder bind, shoulder IK, and shoulder FK, and I'm going to just save this particular file, and once again I'm going to click on save as. Instead of A, I'm just going to rename it to B, and I'm going to hide all other joints. Everything I'm going to hide, all the joints. Control H, hide, and I want to work on FK. So I'm just going to unhide that one. So right now we can only see our FK joint. Other joints I have hide that, all the joints. Just focus on what you want to do now. And I don't want to see any labels right now. So if you want, you can just hide all the labels. And I don't want to see any of this orientation also. Just say select hierarchy and just disable that also. Now you have to work on the FK. So see how it can be done, and I'm just going to take this to as a reference, and shading X-ray joints fine, X-ray off कर देते हैं mode. Okay, fine. So you have to just go to your curve and surface section, take your regular curve, knob circle, and just simply just press W, use your middle mouse, press V and snap it to your joints. Now it's difficult, no, it's snapping on each and every this particular mesh. So I'm going to hide this mesh from here, and if I now once again it's snapping on the components, so I'm going to off this particular component, and now same problem just coming again and again. So you can just hide this particular mesh, and you can just work independently like this. Just snap it directly, and just rotate. I'm just going to rotate on Z axis to 90 degree and scale it. Just make sure it's proper inside your body. It's not intersecting with any other thing like your dress, and just make sure it's proper, and just try to rescale it and just try to arrange it properly. Just rescale it. Just make sure it's not intersecting. Okay, so done. Once again just try to press W and just use once again snap it and just check it out. Okay, it's working. Just take it down a little bit. We need to rotate a bit. Okay, little bit of scaling. I think we have to shift a bit. So once you are done with this and you are satisfied, this is okay, then quickly just freeze transformation. So these two settings I'm going to activate over here inside our rigging. Modify freeze transformation, control shift, control shift. I'm just going to click on that particular thing. Modify freeze transformation. Press control shift and just click, and delete by type history. Delete by type history. So we want this two thing, freeze transformation and history delete. Say done. And then you have to name your this particular joint, same name as you have inside your FK, shoulder FK controller, same name. Copy, paste, and underscore, this is your controller. And then you can just duplicate this particular joint, Control D, and then you have to once again rename it. Each and every joint, just see what is the name, and same process you have to repeat for renaming. And I'm just going to drag it. I'm just going to switch off this thing, body, and just snap it, and just try to rotate it, just make it straight, and make sure ki your this, you can just rescale it. And you can change the rotation axis of this particular curve also. Same thing what you have done with your joint, same you can do with this also. And I'm just going to click on freeze transformation and delete the history. So done. And once again just duplicate, Control D, W, snap it, just make sure it is in. And if you want, you can just further scale this. Okay, just make sure it is not going inside your body and this curve is not too big. And once again just freeze the transformation and delete the history. And same process you have to follow on each and every joint, on entire, basically each and every joints, same process you have to follow. Just duplicate this, snap it, W, snap it. You don't want this particular thing, just snap it. And now I'm going to once again duplicate, snap it, and I just want to try another method to orient this particular curve to exactly on this surface. So I'm just trying another way. Instead of rotating, if I just select this particular curve and select this particular joint, select the basically joint and the curve, and just try constraint orient and just reset the setting and just try and see, just say apply. No, I think it's proper. Yes. I'm going to repeat this step. So we don't want this constraint now. This is just to quickly set up the thing. Now I'm done with that. So I don't have to worry, on all this thing. So this particular joint thing, 59 or all this, I think it's directly taken from there only. So you can just directly duplicate and use it. Once again I'm going to repeat the same process. So I don't want to scale it too much. So just try to rotate. Basically this section, you need to little work on this particular section. So I'm going to hide my polygon and the joints. So you can just directly work on this thing. Just switch on the joints, or instead of joints in polygon, now you can just check it out. We can just shift this thing a little bit here. Okay, so this, you can try this also. Then once again quickly just make sure freeze transformation and delete the history. So we have clean curve controller row here also, and same. And if you want, just duplicate, Control D, and just snap it over here. We don't want to snap it on the vertices, so I'm just going to switch off this particular thing and just once again just press V and just drag it. Okay, and now once again I'm going to try same method. I'm going to select my joint, this joint, select your curve, and inside Orient just don't do anything, just reset it and just try to apply and see the magic, you know. So it's directly oriented, and you can just delete this, and we can scale it afterward also. You can just duplicate, Control D, once again just snap it, and it's done. And if you want to see, you know, it's proper or not, once again you can just try, select your joint first, then select your curve, and then you can just say apply, just check it. Now it's proper, and then just delete the constraint. Simple, we don't want this constraint. So I'm not going to put additional joint and the last, we don't want that. And now if you just try to scale this, you know, we don't want this to be is too much, so you can just go individually and you can just scale it, you know, according to the size of the finger. You can just scale it like that, is also fine. Just make sure it is not intersecting. Okay, same thing you can do with this also. You can just adjust as we done here also. So same I'm going to do with each and every finger, same controller system basically. So just you can use this also, small curve, just duplicate, Control D and snap it, Control Z, press W and just snap it. We don't want to snap it on the object, so just switch off the object and press V and snap it. Now what you have to do, instead of arranging your curve, just select your joint, select your curve, and you have to go to constraint, Orient, just go to the option box and just default, just make it default setting and just say apply, and done. It's proper. And delete the constraint. Now just check it what is happening, and now quickly just duplicate all the joint quickly, Control D and snap it, Control D, 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 snap it, press Control D and 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 snap it. Just leave the last particular joint and check it, and definitely we have to scale it. So just try to rescale that, or all the particular thing, means all the joints also. Show joints, and then you can just scale it together, all this particular joint. And just check it, you know, is proper or not, just check it out, you know. Little bit of interaction is fine, and here we have to scale it little more, this particular area here, especially the last one. So just scale it more and just check it, you know. Even if it is intersecting, this is fine, no issue. So this is how you have to create your curve setup. This is my first step. I think this is simple, right? Okay, so simply what we have done till now is just we have created the normal curve and we have just snapped it to the respected joints. That's all. Now just make sure once again, just select your all the curve. Once again, I'm going to freeze the transformation and delete the history just to be on a safer side. Just make sure. And simply what you have to do, you have to rename your each and every curve. You have to rename, and you have to name this curve as your like as you did in your joints. So instead of writing your bind, you have to write controller, FK controller, simple. Now the important steps begin for your FK. So what you have to do now, I'm going to switch off this knob scope and I'm going to switch on my joints. And now just check what exactly is going here. No, just check the hierarchy, what exactly is going here. If you see, this is the main parent. If you select this, the all the joints is got selected. Same here also, same here also. So you have basically a different four sets like over here. And this particular joint, if you select this particular joint, all this particular joints got selected. Same here also, if I just try to select this particular joint, all these joints are got selected. The same hierarchy we have to use for our curve joint also. So this is the trick, this is simple trick. Just follow this and you can easily and able to do your FK controller. And let's see how it can be done. So I'm going to switch off my joints, or instead I can just take this particular joint to a new layer and we can just rename this to hand. This is our FK, hand FK. And just save it, or you can just write it on the left side underscore L. Okay, so you can just switch on and switch off from here also. And same thing we can do with our curve also. Now just I'm going to click on show all, and now we can see our curve. And I'm going to activate my joints. I'm going to take it as a template mode. Now what? This is my child, this is parent, and to connect both the thing together, what is the shortcut to parent the curves? Yes, what is the shortcut to connect your child and parent? P. Just press P. So it got parented. Now see, just follow the hierarchy as we see. So now this is child and this is parent. Press P and now check it out. See, so it has to go like this only. Now just stop over here and start with this child parent P. Just check the hierarchy in the joints and just follow the same thing. Okay, so don't have to worry what is going. So this is first step. This is the first step that you have to follow. First, follow the child and parent relationship. One thing I've not done, that is basically that is wrong. First, just make sure the orientation is proper. So I doubt I think this orientation is not going properly over here. So I have to work on that. So I'm just going to undo that. So this is not proper actually. So I have to work on the orientation. So I'm just going to quickly check, and just once again I'm going to just check and reorient all the joint. I'm just going to reorient quickly, especially the hand area is not going well or proper. So I'm just going to activate orient, Control Z, select a joint, curve, constraint, orient. No, I think it's proper. थोड़ा मैं गलत करके देखता हूँ सर. Just going to little bit. I'm just going to rotate it, and now I'm just going to try this. Select your joint. Select your curve. Constraint, orient, reset, apply. Okay, actually, that was proper. So one second, but check it. No, just check it. Everything is going well. First, make sure that and delete all the constraint afterward. Select your joint. Select your curve. Press G. I think this is proper. Like, let's check it out once again. I think all the joints are properly situated. Okay. Once you're satisfied with that, then only you just go ahead. Just make sure that every orientation of the joint, orientation of this controller curve is also proper. Okay, once again I'm going to start with that. So first I'm going to start with my finger. Child, parent, P. Child, parent, P. And proper. Once again, child, parent, P. 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 So just make sure कि आपके 3 sets, different sets, your all 3 sets are ready, or all the 4 sets basically. This is proper, this is proper, this is proper. Just complete the finger also. Child, parent, P. Child, parent, P. This is proper. And same, child, parent, we have to connect to this particular joint, P. Child, parent, P. Child, parent, P. Child, parent, P. And if you select this joint, all joints has got selected proper. And this we have to connect to this parent. Child, parent. I'm pressing P, so this is got connected. Okay, same, we have to go ahead. Child, parent, P. Child, parent, P. Simple है, but बहुत lengthy है. Okay, so just make sure कि your all the curves and the controllers names are like properly. You have just rename all the particular your all the curve controller. You have to rename it basically. Simple. Now we have done with our first step. First we have to draw a curve. Secondly, we have follow the hierarchy system. Now you can just check it. So we have systematically hierarchy as we have in our joints. Now what? Now the important steps we have to do. Now, next step, what you have to do is, now you have to start with your orientation process. Select your curve. Now you have to go little reverse. Now you have to select your curve and then select your joint, reverse order. And then you have to go to constraint. Now we want to orient the joint. Okay, and then just reset and make sure maintain offset is turned on in this case. So we don't want our joints to rotate. Okay, so this step is important. And then apply. Simple. I'm going to repeat this thing. You have to select your curve first, then select your joint and go to constraint, orient. Make sure maintain offset is on. Maintain offset. Why maintain offset we need to on? We don't want to rotate our joints, that's why. And just say apply. And then just repeat. For repeating the last command, what is the shortcut key? G. So I'm just pressing G. I'm going to select my curve, select the joint, press G. Okay, just repeat the process and you're going to done. We are just going to done with our FK joint setup. Select your curve, select your joint, press G and just repeat the process quickly. Select your curve, select your joint, press G. Select your curve, joint, G. Select your curve and your joint and G. And you are done with your FK setup. Now if you want, you can just check it. No, it's working. You can just check it out. It's working. Yeah, it's working. And we can just take it to the 0 value. And we don't want any motion over here. So we have just taken the rotation. We just want the rotation value. Okay. And just check it finger also. See, it's going proper. So this is going proper. Yes. Control Z. Yes, proper. Rest. Check it out. Now we have to do all our orientation from here only, like this also, because we have not added forearms. So if you have added forearms, then we can use this particular forearms also. Okay. So now I'm going to switch off this particular joint and I'm going to select my all the curve in the rotation XYZ. We can just directly just select all and we can just say 0 and done. We are on our default value. So this is your simple hand FK setup. This is how you have to complete your leg also the same way. I'm going to upload a tutorial online. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to stop this over here.